So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Extreme Wrestling. Today we are booking and creating a draft for 1999. Post WrestleMania, we are coming off our biggest show of all time, WrestleMania 15. It was an absolute success. Fantastic show. 100 rated, 62,000 people attended, 1.4 million buys. And the show ended with Hulk Hogan defeating Steve Austin for the World Heavyweight Championship. McMahon and Hogan, they celebrated as they took back the WWF from Steve Austin to celebrate. So there was a 62,000 people booing McMahon and Hogan out of the building to close the show out. So some upbeat, unhappy customers, but some interesting storylines coming up. William Regal defeated the Ultimate Warrior to win the European Championship. Triple H defeated Shawn Michaels in an I Quit match. Shawn Michaels is leaving the company. He's got maybe one match here on Raw this week, and actually he could probably wrestle SmackDown too. That's it. Toyota defeated Aja Kong to finally end her historic reign as Women's Champion. Owen Hart and Double J, they won the tag titles from the New Age Outlaws. What did I do here? Kane defeated Mankind in a not a Inferno match, which was a 100 rated match. So it was meant to be an Inferno match. Our broadcasters wouldn't allow us to do that, so we had to make it a no DQ match, and then we lit Mankind on fire after the match. Shane McMahon defeated Mark Mero. Mark Mero is now fired. X-Pac defeated Taka Michinoku for the Lightweight Championship, and the Acolytes defeated Pimp Nation. We had the Hardcore title. I think we had 3 different Hardcore champions in the one night. So we started the night with Onita from All Japan. He was the champion. Stevie Richards attacked him whilst in the parking lot. Stevie Richards was in the trash can looking for food, got out of the trash can, attacked Onita, took the title from him, 1, 2, 3, gets the win. And then he pawned the Hardcore title to Ted DiBiase for $100. Everyone has their price. And then Ted DiBiase cashed in the Hardcore title and gave it to Val Venus so he could have a night out with the Godfather's ladies. So some craziness happening with the Hardcore title. That was a lot of fun. And Kurt Angle defeated Ken Shamrock to retain, the only man to retain the title at WrestleMania. He kept the Intercontinental Championship. Big Show won a Battle Royal on the pre-show, but who really cares? So that was WrestleMania. Big show indeed, no pun intended. Now we are here post WrestleMania. This is the big time. I decided, I looked at my roster. I wanted to try and come up with some storylines last night before I got on the stream. I was thinking, okay, what can we do? What do we got going on? What can I do before, before the stream? I realized quickly that it just doesn't, we've got Kane and Mankind. Do I continue that? Do I Undertaker and Rock? Do I continue that? Do I turn The Rock? Do I turn Mankind? I had so many different options, so many different ideas. I wasn't really sure where to go. Triple H and Shawn Michaels, that's done. What do we do now with Triple H? All these different things, I wasn't really sure where to go next. So with that being said, I knew the brand split, we were going to do a brand split when WWF Heat, Sunday Night Heat ended their run, which is in about 3 months' time. Yeah, 3 months' time, they end their television run. So I decided, well, why don't we just do it now? Why wait? Let's just do it now. It just feels like the right time. Now, that being said, let's look at our decisions. All these superstars here are either joining the company or we're trying to re-sign. And there's some big names. Mark Mero, we decided to keep him. Scorpio, we're going to keep him. Don't really care, though. Ultimate Dragon, we're trying to get him. Raven, and of course Chris Jericho. Some huge names there. That if we bolstered our roster with those 3 names, oh my goodness, we'd be very much so ready to have a brand split, because we'd have, Raven and Jericho, 2 potential main event guys coming into the upper mid card. That would be a really big option for us. Shamrock, we're trying to keep him. And then Jeff Jarrett, we're trying to keep him too. We got James Mitchell trying to bring over. Steve Austin's contract is up, so fingers crossed we can keep him. I'm pretty confident we can. And then we got another woman in George coming over as well. So there is some definite talent there. It is even more talent on the market. You know, all New Japan, ECW's got a few guys, Sandman, for example. There's some more talent on the market. There's so many people with their contracts expiring right now. So there's a lot of potential names you could pick up without a doubt. But those are the ones that we picked out, especially from WCW. So right now, it feels like it's the right time. If we debuted SmackDown, we'd have lots, you know, we'd bring in Chris Jericho as a massive sign to come over in the first few weeks. Raven as well, probably for the other brands. So there's be some big stuff happening, and obviously Hulk Hogan's the champion right now, and you know, he could float around beyond both brands. And the main reason why we want to do the brand split is because look at all our main event guys right now. It's hard to get them all on the card and get them. At the moment, Big Show's not doing a lot. You know, he's not doing much. You know, we've had to put Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett in the mid card in the tag team subs. Kurt Angle's still in the work in the mid card. So was Ken Shamrock. So Kane and Mankind. Well, what do you do after this? Their feud now. So there's so many guys there that we can't do a lot with, and then even more in the upper mid card as well. You know, Val Venus hasn't had a lot happening in recent times. You know, thank God for the lightweights for X-Pac. Otherwise, he probably would be doing nothing. So. But it's even worse, you know, we've got all these mid-card names here that there's lots of them that I want to push. You know, I definitely want to do a lot more with some of these guys. But we just don't have the TV time, or we've got so many guys already we're using that we can't really find the storyline time or anything like that for them. So I feel like a brand split will fix those issues. We'll separate our lightweight division. We'll put all them in one show. We'll put all our women on another show and have those two divisions separate. One brand will have the European. One brand will have the IC title. The world title will float between both brands. I would say whoever's the world champion can appear and wrestle on both brands. That's going to be my little rule. So the world champion is not on a brand. So Hulk Hogan, it won't be on Raw or SmackDown. And let's say Steve Austin wins it back, then he will become on both brands as well. So they can appear on both. And the world tag titles, very similar as well. So the tag team championships will be floating around and they won't be stuck on a particular brand. So they've got that option to appear on either. So that gives us a bit of flexibility on where we want to go, and obviously a lot of potential opponents for the World Championship. And teams, we're going to try and drive teams together. But if there's a team that we want to split up for whatever reason, I don't think there really is. Maybe Awesome Chains you could maybe think about, but what do you do with Chains if you don't have Mike Awesome? Probably release him, to be honest. Yeah, so that's an option there for us as well. So those are that's my mind, my thought process behind this all at the moment. SmackDown will be on Thursdays. It was originally meant to be taped on Tuesdays, shown on Thursdays, but I don't like doing that. I just want it to be live on Thursdays. So, and obviously we've got Heat for now. SmackDown will still get less ratings than Raw because of the prestige level. Raw's got very high, SmackDown has high. So SmackDown should get slightly less ratings, you'd feel. Our next pay-per-view will be in 3 weeks' time. And speaking of pay-per-views, I don't think I'm going to do split pay-per-views. I think we're just going to do combined. We don't have enough. There's enough time for our pay-per-views. We never struggle to fit all our stuff on the card. I think we always have room. You know, there might be one or two matches that don't make the cut, and that's okay. We can put that on the respective brands. But for the most part, there's always enough time to find for all our storylines. So I'm not too worried about that. And I don't think we necessarily need 2 different pay-per-views at all. So that's where we're at. We've got a list here where we're going to do what we're going to do with the draft here. We've got this here. So we're going to just pick one by one. I don't know who's going to get the first pick. Maybe SmackDown, considering they're the new guys, the new boys in town. So perhaps they'll get the first pick. But obviously Hogan won't be available to pick. So looking up SmackDown, you probably want to pick, you know, who would you pick out of this list? First pick, who would you pick? You know, you'd probably go Austin or The Rock. And if you wanted to make SmackDown The Rock show, then you'd probably pick The Rock on SmackDown. Okay, so SmackDown gets the first pick. Shane McMahon, SmackDown, Cornette Raw, Hogan, Owen Hart, Jeff Jarrett ineligible. The women's division is going to be on Raw. the lightweight division on SmackDown. Alright, so Hogan's not eligible, so it's probably the first pick would either be Austin or The Rock, right? Well, Shane McMahon, why would he pick Austin? They hate Steve Austin, you know, hate everything that he stands for. You could see him picking Triple H or a heel, Undertaker, or Kane, or something like that. But Shane, for this purpose, first pick will be The Rock. You know, lay at the SmackDown. SmackDown's The Rock show. Got to pick The Rock. And in Cornette, we'll just put Steve Austin. First pick will be Steve Austin. So Undertaker to SmackDown, Triple H to Raw. Okay, so it's a fresh feud. Austin, Triple H, a fresh feud. We've done The Rock and Taker once, so we can obviously do that again down the line, and that's still okay. Shawn Michaels not an option, so he's out. Forget about him. The next tier, probably Kane and Mankind, I would say. Kane and Mankind. I like the idea of splitting the Undertaker and Kane. I like that idea. Get them away from each other. So Mankind and The Rock together, I think you can absolutely... I want to do The Rock and Austin for next year's WrestleMania. So to do that, we'd have to have The Rock turn heel at some point, because I'm going to keep Austin babyface. So I think turning The Rock at some point and having Mankind feud with The Rock would probably be ideal. So I'm going to go with Mankind on SmackDown and Kane on Raw. So it obviously gives us 2 top heels, 2 top babyfaces. So next time, Raw needs a face, SmackDown needs a heel. Now, the next tier, probably the Big Show. Well, the Big Show is a part of the corporation. So is Shamrock. You probably would say Big Show and Shamrock are together. I kind of want to turn one of them face, because let's not forget we are losing a top face in amongst our main eventers, and we do need to turn probably one of them. The Big Show hasn't done a lot since coming in, and the thing about the Big Show is we already have Kane and Undertaker as our big giants, so we already have a lot of heel giants, so we don't really necessarily need another, you know, monster giant. So I think the Big Show leaving the corporation, you can maybe turn him babyface and say that they picked Ken Shamrock instead. Like Shane McMahon picked Ken Shamrock instead of the Giant, so the Big Show. That's how we turn Big Show face. Well, that, or you could have the Big Show remain on the corporation, and he's the muscle of the group. And you have Ken Shamrock turn babyface, and Shamrock probably would suit babyface more. I think Big Show needs to be in a group, so I might actually switch those picks around. Shamrock might get shafted, and the Big Show stays within the group. Okay, so we'll do that. Outlaws can stay with Triple H. They can be his backup, his muscle, and the New Age Outlaws quite easily could do single stuff. They're good enough. They could do singles. So Kurt Angle can go to SmackDown. Outlaws there. SmackDown will have the IC title, and they'll also have the light heavyweight title. Thanks for the bits, Bubba. Gotta remember that hopeful WCW guys coming in, they can help out Raw when they arrive. That's true. Well, let's put these names down here then. Chris Jericho, Raven, Ultimo Dragon. I'm also considering signing the Dudley Boys. I think it might be nearly time that we bring them in. Poach him away. Okay, so X-Pac will go to SmackDown. He's really the only lightweight of any value. All the rest are useless, you know, so... how are we looking? So we got Austin, Triple H, Kane. So 2 top heels. Shamrock will go face to be with Austin. We're a little weak in the main event department, so another top babyface or another top guy there would help. Road Dogg Billy Gunn helping out in the main event will be okay, but we are definitely a little weak there. We did expect that though, and that's the beauty of the brand split, that we can now go, okay, well Bradshaw, he could probably be a main event guy. Let's try and make that happen. Or William Regal, You know, he could be a main event guy. He's, you know, already high 60 pops. We could try and make that happen. So those are the types of things that could take place. Let's take a look. So our top picks, you tell me if we need Chris Jericho on Raw or SmackDown. So our top guys on Raw, Austin, Triple H, Kane, Shamrock as your top 4. Eventually, Mark Henry probably will try and bring up to that level as well. I know he's not that great, but again, Big Show and Mark Henry probably perform about the same in reality. Mark Henry might even be better than the Big Show now. So that kind of, you know, cancels each other. So Mark Henry a top guy as well. And then, you know, obviously New Age Outlaws, the British Brawlers, if you need someone. SmackDown, The Rock, Taker, Mankind, Big Show, Kurt Angle. That's a really solid 5. X-Pac is the lightweight guy, but can do main event. If he drops the lightweight title, he can easily slot into the main event. And then Rick Rude potentially as the top guys as well, and Warrior as well for Raw. I feel like it's quite even at the moment. SmackDown's probably got better in-ring talent. Probably will do better matches at the top of the card. Whereas the middle of the card, maybe Raw's got the edge at the moment. In the middle. Yeah, it could go either way. Jericho could feud more Raw guys. Okay, well, let's have a look at that. The Outlaws were going to turn face. So you got Outlaws and Jericho could feud. Mark Henry, I'm not sure if we're going to heel him or face him. I'm not sure yet, if you want to put it like that. Warrior and Jericho, you could do that. Warrior might be Jericho's first feud and have Warrior lose to Jericho, put him over. Jericho, top guy, feud with Austin, feud with Kane, or he could have Jericho feud with The Rock, Mankind, Kurt Angle. I mean, that sounds a lot more attractive, doesn't it? But I think Raw needs the top heel more than... I don't know if I'll push Raven to be a main event guy. I don't know. He might be around that level, but I'm not sure if I'd go all the way with him. So I'm gonna go Raven, and then I'll obviously Ultimo Dragon over here. So this is Raw is War. This is the draft edition of the show. We've got a few draft picks that will take place technically in the show, but for the most part, you just have to kind of pretend that it's happening whilst the show's going on. But we're kind of wrapping up the storylines here, trying to get things sorted out for our last Raw that's non-branded. Let's take a look. So Takada, we tried him out on the pre-show, and he has great chemistry with Miguel. Wow. Takada, 51. Wow, that is that's pretty good. Miguel, 49. So Takada, 51. He's got 30 pop, 29, whatever it was. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. He'll be a very good asset for us. We opened the show with Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan, Jim Cornette, and Shane McMahon announcing that it's a new era of the WWF. A brand split's going to happen. SmackDown's debuting this week, and we're splitting the rosters. So we kind of announced all of that there. 90 rated. And then we had Shane McMahon and The Rock. Shane McMahon announced that he drafted The Rock as his first pick. Jim Cornette announced that he drafted Steve Austin as his first pick. Owen Hart and Double J, they took on the debuting Bad Influence. And Bad Influence have excellent chemistry together. Jeff Jarrett, 81. Owen Hart, 89. Fallen Angel, 60. Kazarian's got no pop, but still 27. Bang that out. So a 78 rated match. Great way to debut them, I suppose. And that's Owen Hart and Double J's first title defense. So 78, that's really good. That should hopefully boost up both of their popularity, maybe. Steve Austin said, no matter what, no matter which brand he's on, Vince, you better watch your back, because I'm going to be hunting you down forever. I'm going to try and make your life miserable for as long as I can. Jim Cornette announced that Mark Henry is back. He has drafted Mark Henry, and he promises that Henry will reach the top of Raw. And then we had Mark Henry kill Scorpio in the ring. Mark Henry, 68. Okay. better. Scorpio 38, 57 match. Shawn Michaels and The Rock agreed to have a match tonight as a part of Shawn Michaels' last match. It won't go so well for Shawn, I don't think. We then had Kurt Angle versus Ken Shamrock. They're going their separate ways, so I figured, you know what? One last match between these two. It was an 82. Angle 86, Shamrock 87. Lack of psychology on display. Lack of storyline. We must have ended the storyline between those two. Okay. Anyways, 82 anyway was that's fine. Must have ended the storyline. We had Shane McMahon trying to calm down The Undertaker and Kane after Undertaker was drafted to SmackDown, Kane was drafted to Raw. The Brothers of Destruction have been split up. They're no longer together. Shane trying to calm down his new acquisition. The main event was Shawn Michaels and The Rock. The Rock beat Shawn Michaels in 8 minutes. Yep, you read that right. 8 minutes. Right here by submission. The Rock 93 and Shawn Michaels 88. 82 match. The Rock basically buried Shawn Michaels. See you later. Goodbye. And then we threw the trash out. DX and even The Rock helped out. Throw Shawn Michaels in. They threw him out of the building, probably near the trash can, or maybe they even threw him in the trash. Stevie Richards, he was in the segment because he was rumbling around in the trash, and well, he lives in the trash, so he was there anyways, and he offered to help out Shawn Michaels and give him some pointers. And if you ever need some advice, Stevie Richards is there. You need to figure out how to build a shelter on the fly. You figure out how to make the best out of a bad situation with a trash can. Steve Richards can help you out, Shawn. But nonetheless, they threw him out of the building and sell him. Have fun going down the south. And Triple H might have even said, say hello to Big Kev and Scott for me. And that's the end of them. So Shawn Michaels is finished. And that's it. Not enough to track to him on the show. We've got an 85. Okay. That's whatever. Doesn't matter. So that is the end of Shawn Michaels. And I guess that's the end of the non-branded Raws. We're going to be having a brand split from now on. Alright, let's take a look at Nitro. They had about 12,000 people attend to their show, 28.25 for their rating. Goldberg and DDP beat the Steiners in the main event for 87. Scott Hall beat Siaki for 80. Eddie beat Glacier. Sting beat Dean Malenko. Come on, 99. Why don't you use either of them very well? Sting barely gets on the cards. He's had 4 matches this year. Sting! 4 matches! 99 with Dean freaking Malenko. Are you kidding me? I mean, seriously, push the man. Bagwell beat Low D, and the rest is the rest. Alright. Looks like we're going to have some bidding wars. WCW's offering a deal at Jarrett and Shamrock. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Blue Panther's got a bidding war as well, with looks like CMLL and AAA trying to get his services. Okay, here we go. The bidding war. Oh boy, plenty of it. Okay, Raven. What do they want? Your offer is currently not being considered. Alright, 23 grand, 4-year deal. Okay, can we match the money? I hope so. What's Vince's max? 23.7. Okay. The 1999 draft for the Attitude Era. We've done a brand split. SmackDown and Raw separate. So Raw, their top guys will be Steve Austin, Triple H, Kane, Shamrock. SmackDown, The Rock, Taker, Mankind, Big Show, Kurt Angle, and even X-Pac. Raw's tag teams, The Outlaws, The British Brawlers, The Golden Oddities, Too Cool, Awesome Chains, Edge and Christian are there as well. SmackDown's tag teams look more like the Acolytes, the Hardy Boys, Pimp Nation, Headbangers, Los Barricas, and Fallen Angel and Frank Kazarian. It's pretty even tag teams, I'd say. In the mid-card, the next upper mid-card type of guys, the next guys coming through. Raw, you're looking at Mark Henry, you're looking at Brian Pillman, even Ultimate Warrior's up there. Those types of names. If we can get Chris Jericho, which I think we will, he'll join that list. And if we can get Raven, he'll join that list as well. Steve Blackman and Dan Severn, they're also a tag team, but they also could be upper mid-card names coming through the ranks as well. For SmackDown, their upper mid-carders, you know, it could be Bradshaw and Farouk, the Acolytes. They could be in that role. But you're looking at Val Venus. Vampiro, I'm looking to try and push up the card a little bit further. Rick Rude, when he comes back, he's not too far away, about a month and a bit away from coming back. He'll definitely be in a top role. Test will get a nice push. Take him a while to get there, though. The Dudley Boys, they might join the tag division if we can get them. But in the mid-cards, you know, the rest of the card, you know, looking at for Raw, you know, Al Snow, Richards. Raw's got the women's division, Toyota, Arjun Bull, Kira, Yokota, Luna, Mariko, Sunny Marlena join them as well. Takada will join Severn and Blackman to form an MMA type of stable. And that's all of Raw done. For SmackDown, the rest of their card, you know, they've got the lightweight, so Taka Michinoku's there, Vampiro, Hayabusa, Jake Roberts, he's back in the company. Hopefully he can stay clean. He'll be a veteran that we might try and get to 60 pop or so, but eventually he'll be the guy that probably puts over the next young guy coming through the ranks. Some women, they got Sable Ivory, Beulah all join them. Scorpio as a lightweight, Ted DiBiase as a manager, Paul Bearer as well managing. Super Crazy, Tiger Mask, they'll debut and join SmackDown. The Hollies, they're another tag team. They'll debut and join the SmackDown division, tag team division. Bob Holly, you never know if we get him over, he could be an upper mid-card singles. Test, as we said, upper mid-card singles. Ultimo Dragon probably will be the best lightweight besides X-Pac. Gangrel, we're splitting the Brood. Edge and Christian will go together. Gangrel will be a solo here on SmackDown. And that's the brand split. That's our brands. It's going to be a difficult process for the next 6 months or so in game time. But once we get some names from that 40 to 50 area to 60 to 70, once we get a few of these guys over, things will be much easier. And I think after a while, we'll be happy with this brand split. If we can sign some more names along the way and maybe try and improve things like that, great. If not, well, the challenge is let's get some of these guys over. Let's try and make it happen. Some of the other stables, let's have a look. DX, they'll split. We're going to turn Road Dogg and Billy Gunn face. Triple H will go on his own as a heel. X-Pac's on SmackDown. Martial Law, that'll be Severn, Blackman, and Takada, new group. Ministry of Darkness have retained majority of their members over on SmackDown. Everyone's on SmackDown except for Viscera and Kane. Everyone else is on SmackDown, so they'll stay together. Perhaps we'll add some new members or, you know, try something different. But I think for the most part, Ministry of Darkness should stay relatively active. Pimp Nation, they're all on SmackDown. They're the same. The Brood, they're no more. They're now inactive. The Corporation, well, apart from Finlay and Regal, who are on Raw, the rest of the Corporation are pretty much over on SmackDown. Shamrock is on Raw as well. So if we do continue the Corporation, it might be a bit of a revamp of the group, and bring in a few different names and try something different with the group, which I don't mind at all. So, and Too Cool, they're over on Raw as well. So Rikishi, another guy, definitely could be a solo guy in amongst all that and have some success there. But that is the brand split. It will take place. SmackDown's up next. That'll be every Thursday. We're going to do SmackDown, and the titles. The Europeans on Raw now, so we better make these changes. The European will be on Raw with William Regal. The IC title will be on SmackDown with Kurt Angle. The lightweight title will be on SmackDown with X-Pac. The women's title will be on Raw, and the world title and the tag title will be on both brands. And we'll try and find opponents and feuds from either brand at any given time to work and go and do that. For our TV, edit some of our details here. We've got to make sure we turn on the brand split here. So Raw, obviously is Raw, and SmackDown is obviously SmackDown. But that will make the brand split official. And the first branded show will be the next edition of SmackDown. Alright, with that being said, I think we are done here. We're going to come back next time. We're going to debut SmackDown. We've done the big draft. It's all sorted. And if you are watching the YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss another episode.